absorb some local color through the magic of AM radio.
Harkens me back to my youthful, careful days on the playgrounds of Forest Park School and my gifted days.
And you're gifted, all right.
What were you gifted at?
Well, I guess I had some issues.
Detention?
Yeah. When my dad told me I wouldn't plan on going to Harvard anytime real soon.
You're going to have to get in touch with me. We're gonna link all the volunteers via satellite cell phone so that we can put out the message immediately, because you remember the problem we had in January. We had to have Governor Walker come in with the National Guard. It was horrible.
Steve, listen to me. Bring your own microphone because you lost this one.
Okay, Captain Ron, you've been doing this so well for the last few weeks. So go ahead and make my day.
Oh, great one with the magic pen.
Oh, boy, he wants that microphone forever, doesn't he? Now, you got to visualize this. We put a statue of Pete on this. Put him wearing like a hard hat and a flannel shirt, tool belt, snow shovel.
You mean like from the Village People?
Yeah, yeah, a couple of...
Now, wait a minute here.
Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the January 16th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your radio dial, streaming worldwide and booming across the frozen country of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area. Being brought to you this morning by our major sponsor, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and a host of other very fine local businesses. With us this morning, you cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. The 2016 poster boy for the hospital peanut butter sandwich, little Stevie Casey, joined us here this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Barter. Good morning, Kenosha. 2 Saturdays in a row. We're starting out 2016 in a wonderful way.
The drugs are obviously working.
The drugs are. I'm still on pain relievers.
Yeah. Also with us on the A-Team this morning, our video coordinator, Channel 14's Trooper of the Year, Captain Ron, joins us here at Camp Happy Face.
Good morning, Captain Ron.
Good morning.
And welcome to...
Whatever.
What the hell's the name of the
Camp
show?
Camp Happy Face.
Camp Happy Face.
Dave.
And hey, there's boys and girls. There's even more engineering that Kenosha Today train wreck this morning. WLIP's 6-time Employee of the Month. Also the master of the 8-second dump button.
Well, you got that right.
Boy, he's got a half of a nutty bar.
Boy, I tell you, anybody...
He's eating half of a nutty bar.
Got about a quarter of one left here.
Anybody calls in here and has any smutty talk, this guy's all over it.
Absolutely.
He sits back there and just pretends he's sleeping.
Well, I'd like to thank Donut Dave for bringing in, what did he bring in? Nutty bars and what else?
This is a 24-pack, too.
24-pack.
Like the big box,
How many are in there? About 10?
And some Swiss rolls.
There's about 6 left.
How come I bring them in and they end up on your side of the desk?
I managed.
Well, I control everything on this end, so.
Oh, you're just one.
I'll distribute the snacks.
You're just one nutty bar, Pete. You're just one nutty bar.
Listen to this. It says product enlarged to show details.
That's what I keep saying.
I have that sign of my Barter Manor.
No, we're not going in that direction.
Coming
today.
up, boys and girls, right after our first break at 10:30, Kenosha's fastest growing game show sensation, the Lightning Round of City and Jeopardy trivia game, sponsored by the House of
I'm
Garage
so
Restaurant.
excited about that.
And then, after the 11 o'clock break, this week's top 10 list written in our home office on the deck at the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. This week's thought-provoking category, little Stevie, the top 10 signs it's really cold here in Kenosha. Now, there's
Cold and snowy. It's cold and snowy.
We have a great show planned for our
There's
listeners
a lot of
this
snow
morning.
out there. There's
And,
a lot of snow out there.
As you know, this is cutting-edge journalism.
I'd like to consider ourselves as serious journalists.
Cutting edge.
I know I want to go find the razors right now, man.
So, Pete, put your hand on the dump button. Let's get this party started.
All right, yeah.
Woo.
Woo.
Here we go.
You wanted that
Oh,
now?
jeez. I just tell him. Oh, man. Stevie, sometimes it's just like pulling teeth, you know?
Sorry, I was grabbing for a nutty bar.
All right, kill it, Ben. You know, somebody said to me this week, seems like you guys have a lot of issues on this show.
What was your first? Did you respond by saying what was your first clue?
I said I was rather offended. What do you mean seem to have issues?
Listen,
we are graduates.
I tell you, you put the four of us in a room with a therapist that could make their career.
Certainly could make their Christmas.
Coming up next week in the second hour. Why don't you tell them who we're going to have our special guest?
Actually, there's a There's a big study going on at Lincoln Middle School. They're involved with a state contest, I believe. It's through the state, talking about the effects of road salt on the environment. And they've passed the first tier, and their kids competing in this contest. And we're going to have more information about that next week. Maybe you can include that in your promo spot. And
Well, apparently the deal is they have to show the judges how they're going to promote this.
Well, it's all how they promote their study and how they elevate it to the kind of exposure that they're getting. And I suggested that they come on the air here and expose themselves.
And so what better way to promote something and elevate the game than to come here?
Yeah, well, what the hell.
They do want to win, right?
Yeah, they do want to. They do want to win.
We got a bunch of topics: 262-694-1050, and hey, there's even more good news, boys and girls. Tomorrow at noon, each and every Sunday, you can tune in here at WIP AM 1050 and listen to the replay of the show. See, Daddy's all over.
That's what I was ready for before.
And then you can watch the replay of this finely tuned, professionally produced Excuse for Radio show on Time Warner Cable's Channel 14 on Tuesdays at 5 p.m., Wednesdays at 6 p.m., and...
The media's making a monster out of you because they don't care about the truth. All they care about is entertainment. Well, you need a form where they don't even know the meaning of the word entertainment. Public access television.
There you go.
And then before we take a phone call, on the 30th, we're having our 6th annual Radiothon to raise money for Charlie V's Kids for Cancer Foundation. And
where is that at, Scott?
We're going to have it right here. Right here. You know where you are?
Did we do that? Didn't you do that at the boathouse last year?
No, we did it here last year. We normally would do it at the boathouse, but we were doing it here.
And is that, explain how that works? People call in and donate?
Pledges, and we'll have some guests dealing with cancer-related issues. And Charlie V's is a 501c3. We walk in the parade every year, and it's set up after, in memory of Charlie Vandenberg, who passed away March 12th, 2010, at the age of 5. And so we raise money and disperse it to families.
And I don't think there's been a family out there in Kenosha not affected some way, shape, or form with cancer.
So we're going to do that for 2 hours on the 30th.
Yep, a lot of good causes out there,
So
Scott.
let's take a phone call, right, Pete? Mm-hmm. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning, Shirley. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
I'm pretty sad, Shirley, in case you're interested.
No.
Well, thanks for the call.
Hey, Shirley, did you get to Diane's last night?
I sure did.
Okay, now you make every one of those lighten up with Lenny's.
No, why are you promoting other people's show? Forget that.
And it was my birthday, so it was really
Oh,
great.
no, wait a minute.
We have to do this again.
Are you serious? It was your birthday?
Yes, yesterday.
We did this last week.
For heaven's
ready?
sakes.
Yep.
Are we ready? Are you ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shirley. Happy birthday to... Oh, that's not good, Pete. That doesn't sound as good. How did you celebrate your birthday, Shirley?
Well,
She
thank
got
you
drunk,
for
yeah.
singing. Yeah, we had fun last night, and the whole place sang happy birthday, even Lenny.
Oh, well, we don't care about that.
Yep, and I got presents, and oh, my gosh.
geez.
Shirley, did we know it was your birthday? Because I would have...
It's in all the papers.
Did we talk about this last Saturday?
About what?
I think
no,
we
we
talked
said-
about your birthday
No, it
last
was
Saturday.
Gertrude's
No,
birthday.
that was
Gertrude's birthday.
Gertrude's last week. Mine's this week.
Oh, Shirley, you're big into sending cards. I'm going to send you a card, a birthday card next week.
Plan on getting it probably by Easter.
No, you enjoy sending cards out. You sent a nice little thank you when you were at our house, and you know.
I sent a lots of cards.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Shirley, here's why I'm sad. I didn't win the 1.5 billion.
Oh.
So I went from being a 3-time Powerball loser. Actually, I went from being a 2-time unsuccessful mayoral candidate to a 3-time Powerball loser.
You're a bigger loser than that. Let me clue you.
Yeah.
What's 1.5 million?
Hey,
I
Shirley,
don't even play it because I don't. There's not a chance, and you know what? I
Well,
don't
tell
even.
that to the people who won. Aha!
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well.
See, I got you there.
I'm not lucky.
So you're watching the game tonight, Shirley?
Yep. We're
Okay.
having company from Stevens Point today for Christmas yet. I got my tree up because we're going to celebrate Christmas yet.
Oh, really?
Hey, what time do you want us?
Well, they're coming about noon.
Well, what are you serving?
Well, it's my birthday, and they said you're not cooking, so they're bringing pizza.
Okay, Pete,
and I
you like
made a
pizza.
cake. And
I do enjoy
We all like
pizza.
pizza.
You know, I got to tell you, every now and then we'll have a birthday party and someone will suggest that with all the fabulous cooks in the family and with you, it would be a disappointment to come to your house and have pizza.
Well, they insisted I was going to cook a ham dinner, and they said no. So I
Yeah,
can't.
why didn't you take the ham when you can have pizza?
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do for you, Shirley, though. We'll bring the dessert. We'll bring the whatever.
We'll bring you
nutty
whatever's
bars and
left.
whatever's
Yeah.
left.
We got little Debbie Nutty bars, and there were 24 of them. There are probably about 2 left.
If that, we'll bring you the box.
And there's only 2 in a package, so it's rough.
All right, Shirley. Well, you enjoy the day.
We have one more
Okay.
birthday greeting for Shirley on her way out.
Okay, here it is.
You're the birthday boy or girl.
There you go, Shirley. Happy birthday.
Glad you're feeling better, Steve.
Thank you very much, Shirley.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
The one of the stories this week that I was following, and Pete was all over this thing, is the Flint, Michigan needed some bottled water over there. Did you see
Well,
that?
get a load of that.
And
yeah.
so
Yeah.
I called Pete, and I says, you better, we had all that extra water from the 17th.
From the 17th.
And so Pete rallied the troops at the Brat Stop, and here he was.
Sure did. Got it all going.
Pete? Pete?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm still packaging
Pete,
up water over here.
Pete got all the troops, got the troops rallied at the Brat, and
And what did we do?
you went east, didn't you, Pete?
I can't find it.
Oh, jeez.
There it is.
Here we go.
Are we gonna do what they say?
It's my weekend, too.
We've got a long way to go. And they
So to those people in Flint, Michigan, you can thank Pete and the people
what
in
a-
the 17th District.
You
They
know,
noticed the extra salt in the water this time.
we were over in Flint, Michigan, gosh, I bet you about 10 years ago for a wedding. And in my estimation, I hate to say it, it was a depressed community at that point. But, boy, they're saying about a third of the houses are boarded up and have been foreclosed on. Now they've got this water problem. And what happened? You know what happened? They used to get their water from Lake Huron. Okay, which was a great lake, and now they switched to save money, and they're pulling it out of the river, and the river has got a larger lead content, and it's affecting the pipes that go to the homes, and the water's coming out, yellow and brown and things like this. Holy cow!
Well, so to those people that are listening from Flint, you can count on us. We'll help you out.
We'll bring the bottle. We're going to bottle up some of Ed St. Peter's water and take it right over there. People laugh when I say this, but
Not me.
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
How's on cue?
Has got the third. When I was on the water utility years ago, and if there's somebody who served on the water utility, call in and clarify this again. We've got in Kenosha the third purest tap water in the entire world. That's why when you travel to other parts of the country and you take a drink out of the hotel tap or whatnot, it just tastes different. Kenosha's water is the purest tap water, in on the Great Lakes and certainly in the country and mostly in the world. People don't even realize
that goes for washing and bathing and showering, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
See, that's why when I have guests over at Barter Manor, I have this rule that you have to shower with a friend. So we not only conserve water,
Pete,
Stevie,
sometimes
we
I just
also
I try to
conserve
to
water.
bring a level of education to the show.
Oh, yeah, right.
And right away we're talking about showering with friends
Yeah.
for him.
I'm just trying to point out that you got to do your part.
And I can point out that the hose and the utility tub down the hall, one of the best showers you will ever have. Just so you know.
The utility. Stevie, last week you were announcing, we were talking about the candidates for alderman. You had mentioned that you thought some of the candidates were plants.
Plant.
By the boys, right?
Let's go over the names
Okay,
again.
no,
We'll go over the
just a
names
minute.
again.
But apparently, your words seem to be magic and did not go unnoticed here by the higher-ups here at Dippity Doo.
Uh-oh. Did I get in trouble?
No. They're going to be creating an entirely new program with former Alderman Ray the Badge Meisner as the host, and they're calling it Plant Lives Matter. So, Pete, you in?
No. I'm good.
Badges. We don't need no
Lives
stinking badges.
So,
We had a federales. We don't need no stinking badges.
you're no community watchdog. You're a superhero.
Community watchdog.
Yeah. Good morning.
Did someone say community watchdog?
I got some stuff on that
Playoffs,
too, by the
playoffs.
way. Good morning. You're on whatever. You're our Duck Dynasty. Go ahead.
Just want to check in with my boss, see how he's doing.
El Flapo?
Hello, Paul. How are you?
I'm okay, Steve. How are you?
You've been on the job just 1 week administering my Facebook page with the funeral home, and already we've got 27 more likes.
You know what, though? I'm really disappointed. 2 people dropped off.
Well, that was
They must have seen what it was about, and they left.
well, it wasn't me because I've never been on our Facebook page.
Hey, Paul, remember last week when little Stevie here was talking about he broke a couple toilet seats?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is really brilliant. This was you talk about a marketing genius. This is Bob Lee Jr., and I think he got this from watching the Minnesota Vikings. He's calling it wide and to the left.
That's kind of how it was.
Wide to the left.
That's kind of how it was.
And you ready, Pete, with the pants and the thing? He's calling it the little Stevie El Floppo pants in the ground potty.
Pants on the ground, pants on the ground, looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
And how about this, Paul? It comes with a parachute. In case you,
there you go.
In case you overshoot the landing zone.
That's another problem.
I do have the extra tall toilet. It's a 17 and a half inch tall. It's elongated, and you gotta land on that baby straight on. You can't go wide to the left.
That's what I said. Marketing
exactly.
Brilliance by Bob Lee
Well,
Jr. calling it wide and to the left.
I wasn't with Bob Lee Jr. last night. A lot of times we'll get together, smoke a cigar on a Friday night, but not last night. And I was going to suggest that he put landing lights on the toilet seats.
There you go.
Well, they include the parachutes now,
Beep,
and
beep,
the
beep. And then when you start to back up, the backup lights on it. Beep, 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 beep. Abort.
See how many likes you got on his Facebook page now.
You know what?
How many deleted in the last?
It would
5
work
minutes?
until it makes you circle Detroit 3 times to come in.
It's like a 747. When you get below that window, it's too late to pull up and fly away. You just got to land.
Point of no return.
It's the point of no return.
How come your page doesn't get more likes?
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was that picture that Paul posted of you sitting there on the phone.
Oh God.
That was a good picture. That was a good picture of me, actually.
If you look at it right now, he just posted something just as your show started today, and it's bringing up that you're also a co-host on a weekly radio show, and I quote you at the end of my little comment. I say, "So for heaven's sakes, tune in."
Now, Paul, you understand where the "for heaven's sakes" came from, because I've been one to say another phrase quite frequently.
Pete.
When somebody says something ridiculous, oh, for heaven's sake! So I had to come
That's
up
one of
with,
my favorite phrases.
You got your finger on the dump button. So I had to come up with something creative to say instead of saying what I normally would say when you say something stupid, Scott.
Well, that's creative, all right.
So I said, for heaven's sakes, that's good and clean, and we can have Father Bill in here talking to us, and it won't even matter. Oh, for heaven's sakes!
You know what, Harry Carey? That's why he said "holy cow," so he wouldn't say "holy."
Well, I know you can't say
excrement.
I know you can't say crap on the radio. That's what I've been told.
So
you can dish it out though.
Hey, Paul.
For 2
quick
hours.
question: how's your mother doing? Good. Everything good?
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yeah, good.
She's doing well.
What's your title as a Facebook page watcher?
I'm Steve's minion.
Minion?
No.
That's a substantial increase in base pay.
Actually, he's mostly working with Patty and Lori. I'm not allowed to touch the Facebook page. I'm actually not allowed to even touch the computers.
So when he said he lost 2 likes, that was probably you and Jennifer.
So we have this. You'll love this. We have this conference call on Monday, and Lori and Patty and myself and Paul are on this conference call, and we're going to outline to Paul what we want in the Facebook, how often we want posts, this and that. And he's using phrases that I've never even heard before. Well, you do this, you go into this thing, and then you hit the screen, you do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like a deer in headlights. At one point, Patty leans across the desk. You don't really understand what he's saying, do you? And I said, no, it makes no sense to me.
You're not surprised at this at all, are you, Paul?
No, and then all of a sudden you disappeared.
Oh, yes.
that you understand.
Well, I realized that I could bring absolutely zero value to that meeting, so I got up and left to do something else.
It was fire sale at the bakery. That's
right.
Where he went.
No. The phone rang, and I left the room, and I was talking to him, and then the meeting was over.
They had day-old donuts on sale.
And I said, I said, Patty, did I miss anything? You did not miss a thing. No, we're happy to have you on board. Look for that first check to come in the mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're done, quit laughing for the next 3 or 4 hours. Check your mailbox.
At least until noon, I'll be laughing. That's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys. Thanks.
I got to give a bit.
Chatter.
This is Tradio.
This is Plant Lives Matter.
Hey, it's Scott from Kenosha. How are you?
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Now, you're one of the good guys.
I am one of the good guys. And what are you going to do? Hey, I called today to invite you guys.
No, I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that.
To a beverage at the Boathouse.
No, I can't let you do that.
I'm not saying what it's about, but if you're not doing nothing, stuff out about Boathouse.
Okay.
And
the reason I tell you it's a political thing, and then I have to by FCC rules, whatever government. Okay, all right.
Understood.
Okay.
So I just called in to wish everybody a happy Saturday. Let folks know that we are moving forward with Kennedy Drive, eagerly awaiting the results from SAA with the little $5,000 study to get their take on this and hopefully have that road done by the end of the summer. We're going to
what's the study going to say for $5,000? What are we getting for that?
They're going to give their input on, should it be one way? Should it be two way? Should it be a bike lane painted on the side? Just a little bit. It's not going to change the design. It's not going to move it farther away from the lake. It's not going to, they're not going to chip in, do anything as far as the inside bike path that goes through. That's in horrible shape. There's no doubt about that. It's not anything about that. It's just to get their input on the striping of the road and stuff like that.
Well, I guess, Scott, the question I would have, one of the questions that would come to mind is, you guys have not adopted a master plan yet for Kennedy Park, have you?
What the Parks Commission did was table the master park plan for Kennedy.
Well, in essence,
Kennedy
by moving forward with the Kennedy Drive repaving, that's obviously going to be part of the master plan. So in essence, you are kind of backdooring the master plan process because you're going ahead with the paving anyways. The master plan may or may not have included the paving, and certainly at this point, when you redo Kennedy Drive, it's certainly not going to be ripped out to concur with a master plan. So Kennedy Drive will become part of the master plan.
Well, yeah, and it's since after the last 2 years, I've received so many positive things. Don't take the road out. Don't take the road out. And unfortunately, the plans, as you know, from 2 years ago, both included that road going away. And this is not a permanent fix. This is something we're going to get probably 10 years out of it. Right now, the climate of the citizens of this city are, you know what, we want that road. And I understand that. And that's fine. And this is not a total repaving. We're not putting sewers and gutters in. We're not putting curbs in. We're just milling and overlaying, kind of what we did on 104th Avenue up by Aurora. That the plan we had with Summers that unfortunately Summers decided not to pay us on.
Well, you didn't send no bill.
So, it's a mill and overlay. It's just not Kennedy Drive. You start on the hill up on Simmons Island, up by the bathrooms. You come all the way down and go all the way across. It's going to smooth that road out. It's going to make it enjoyable. It's some people, the opponents go, oh, it's going to become a drag strip. No.
Well, we did our own study, and then I got to let you go. Our study was about, $39.95. Our suggestion, right, Pete, was we suggested you move the lake 50 yards to the east, and that problem solved.
Same foam that we put at
that little
on
puddle
the roof.
there? We're talking about just that little puddle? Just
move it.
50 yards to the east?
All joking aside, though, Scott, you're talking about a project worth how much?
$360,000.
$360,000, and you just threw out the estimate of 10 years. So it's going to cost the taxpayers about $10,000 a year to have Kennedy Drive redone. I don't think I've been in favor of this project for one very good reason. That road was based on a landfill. That's not properly bedded. There's not a proper foundation under that to redo the road to begin with. If you're going to do it, you ought to redo it right.
Well, the whole thing is then you're getting into the seven figures plus. This is it's a mill and overlay. That road, as everybody knows, gets a lot of use, believe it or not. Folks love, especially our seniors that don't really like to get out of their car, and they love that view. And you know what? If they're willing to pay it, there's been minimal objection to it. Okay. It's just something that's going to accent that whole strip there. I mean, let's face it. The lake is there. The park is there. There's nothing else going on in the park per se. There's a couple of nice events every year, but people just like to cruise that road. And if you're going to cruise that road, it's got to be at least smooth.
Okay. So, Scott, I got to let you go. I will see you this afternoon, though. All right.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.
One sponsor, and then
we'll
take
absolutely. We're also brought to you.
Just tuned in. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the January 16th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your radio dial, bringing you hope and inspiration for 2016.
Hope and inspiration
That's us.
for 2016.
Maybe it should be dope and perspiration, but you would be the perspiration. Brought to you by our major sponsor.
I do sweat. I do sweat.
The
But you know
Boathouse
what?
Pub and Eater. Wait a minute, and a host of many other fine local businesses.
I'm not that fat.
With us this morning, this year's keynote speaker for the Pants on the Ground Potty Fly-In this summer, the big dog, little Stevie Casey, is here, and looking for more.
Pants on the ground, pants
Keynote
on the ground.
speaker.
Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
The Fly-In, the Pants on the Ground Porta Fly-In.
Organizer of the Flint, City of Flint Volunteer Water Drive.
Also,
Water Brigade.
Joining
That's
us here at
exactly
Camp Happy Face, our video coordinator, Trooper Captain Ron's here this morning. And
Did you-
a couple of other...
Did you shave today? You shaved. Did you trim your beard a little bit or no?
Well, we
I
had
was
a...
gonna say, okay.
Ronnie and I had a couple high production meetings this...
2 days in a row.
High energy production meetings, yeah. Talk about
High energy.
high energy.
Like
Gas.
High
I was going to say.
High octane. Also engineering us to all-time highs, the WLIP fashion consultant to the stars, the voice of high school basketball, also the host of a very fine radio show, Lip Off, Pistol Pizza, and lowers
morning,
himself
Pistol
to our
Pete.
standards.
Hello again, everybody.
Hey, did you guys,
yeah, a little more enthusiasm.
Hi, everybody.
did you get your invitation to my Packer party tonight? No, you didn't. I didn't send one.
Well, that's cruel.
Are you having a Packer party at Barter Manor?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yep.
Is it a small
Pants
party?
on the ground, pants on the ground. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
Now,
Packer
Pete,
game and chill tonight at
Pete.
Barter Manor.
aren't you just a little embarrassed with that?
Me? Shame? No.
I've got a
those,
couple of close friends coming over to be a very small party.
Me too. I have one.
I'm going to leave that alone.
For those certain folks listening who are recording this.
Well, every time I invite you, you never show up.
Well,
I invited you for New Year's Day. I invited you for
New Year's
Thanksgiving.
Day. You were in a hospital on New Year's Day.
Well, I invited you out to the hospital to have a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
And for these guys that are doing this, we're not wasting time, our valuable time for you to change the tape. You're just going to have to do it on your own. Also, special thanks to my good friend Steve Schneider. You can find us, the Kenosha Today Show, 365 days a year, 24/7 up on YouTube. And now, boys and girls, it's time to play Kenosha's fastest-growing game show sensation, the lightning round of City in Jeopardy, sponsored by the House of Gerhard's Restaurant. We'll now clear the phone lines. I'm going to read the question, which is a very sophisticated, intelligent, multiple-choice question. And you will then get three somewhat intellectual answers to choose from. After that, you will hear the ding. And the first caller to correctly answer the question wins a $25 gift certificate to the House of Gerhard, located at 3927 75th Street here in Kenosha. Open daily, specializing in fine dining, serving authentic German cuisine. Celebrating their 51st year at the same location.
I went there on Tuesday night for dinner.
What better place to socialize then and have a great lunch or dinner? Call for a reservation, 262-694-5212. You can find them on Facebook or at thehouseofgerhard.com. The phone lines are clear. Here's the question. What is the best way to avoid getting frostbite here in Kenosha? What's the best way to avoid getting frostbite here in Kenosha? Letter A. You can sit directly behind a trolley driver who passes gas a lot. B, rub a quart of super glue on your cheeks, little Stevie. Or C, rent out the top floor penthouse suite at the Heritage House.
I know which one I hope people
What
pick.
is the best way to avoid getting frostbite? We have a caller already.
We have a caller.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. I'd say C.
Rent out the top floor of the penthouse suite. And
And that's a winner.
I was hoping you were going to choose that one.
That's a winner.
What is your name, dear?
Vera.
Vera, are you from
Vera.
Kenosha?
Yes, from Kenosha.
Have you been to Gerhard's before?
Oh, many, many times over the years. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Have you been to?
wonderful
Have you
place.
seen the new penthouse suites at the Heritage House?
No, but I see that the windows are all out, so I think they're working on it.
No,
once
that's
they get the
that's the
money.
new air conditioning.
And the city is paying for that.
That's
$500,000. The city's
Now,
gonna,
guys, that's the new Syrian style with no windows or roof for that matter.
Yeah, I can't wait. Boutique.
yeah, it's a boutique style hotel.
Right.
So
right.
what
Yeah,
we're going to
can't
do
wait.
is you're going to get the $25 gift certificate, and Pete's going to get your information off the air.
thank you.
And then
Thank
we
you.
will give you a free certificate for a free night at the Heritage House Penthouse Suite.
Oh, lovely. And then I'll throw a party for all of us.
Us? Meaning us? Well, whatever night I'm busy.
Check-in is at 3 o'clock.
Checkout's at 3:01.
Yeah, when you fall through the floor of the penthouse.
Yeah. Well, maybe then we'll fall into the swimming pool.
Oh, yes, that's in the basement.
Yeah,
That's
remember
right.
that? Yeah.
When we throw a party, we throw a party.
That's right.
Were you ever in the Rathskeller in the basement?
No, just the swimming pool. I don't know about the Rathskeller.
The Rathskeller was a private bar in the basement that only members could go in.
Oh, Stevie.
I was never a member of the Elks Club.
How do you know about this?
I was never a member.
Well, how do you know about it?
Well, I heard about it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Now, do you have an
Well,
email? Do you have an email address?
No, I don't have a
Well, Pete's going to
computer.
get your information, and I'm going to send you out a certificate that you have to go over to the House of Gerhard and pick this up.
Oh, beautiful.
And there's no mail on Monday, so it'll go out Tuesday, and you'll get it by Easter.
Oh, that's right.
No,
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I figured. Well, thank you. You all keep up the good
Okay,
work.
now hang on.
gentlemen.
Don't go away, because Pete's going
I
to
won't.
put it on this, Pete.
Thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank
Now
you.
we have another
No,
caller, but we
we-
got to wait for just
Well,
a
no,
minute.
no, she's the caller.
No, there was another caller. There's one blinking was another
Did
caller.
I tell you I went to Gerhard's on Tuesday night?
I guess you did.
I went with Donut Dave and his wife.
Oh.
My wife was in Washington, D.C. for the night.
Oh, so they took you out?
Yeah, actually, I was on my way back from the airport, and they called me and said, we feel like going out for dinner. Would you like to join us? I said, well, my wife's in Washington, D.C. for a meeting. And they said, well, meet us at Gerhard's. So I went over to Gerhard's, and I think the bar bill was more than the food bill.
As it should be. As it should be.
I'm kidding, of course.
No, right, Stevie. Right, Stevie.
But guess what I had?
Gorgonzola
Yeah,
something.
the
or other.
strip steak with gorgonzola cheese on it.
All right, let me read a sponsor.
Folks, how are you? This is Kurt Wicklund, Alderman of the 8th District.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to speak on what the $5,000 is going to buy the citizens of Kenosha.
Okay, go ahead.
And what it's going to buy is safety.
Okay.
That's the focus of this analysis, where that bit of road, it does have a history of people testing out their acceleration, shall we say, or their top end.
Right.
And now that it's kind of beat up, it's not so much. But the city's never really had much experience with a very smooth Kennedy Park road there. So to keep speeds down, there's certain options, and basically we're asking the professionals to weigh in with various ways to keep the speed down. And I specifically asked for the need of guardrails or curbs or stuff like that, because this is, after all, going through a city park where children are going to play. And, distracted driving is a serious issue these days.
Kurt, Little Stevie's got a question that he... Wait a minute. Little Stevie's got a serious question that he asked Scott Gordon. Stevie.
I know we've been dealing with this issue for a while, Kurt, but address the issue of the master plan. The master plan hasn't been adopted yet for either one of the parks there, and by nature of the fact that you're going to spend $350,000 repaving Kennedy Drive, doesn't that automatically make Kennedy Drive part of the master plan? Because you're not going to, it's not as if you're going to adopt a master plan in a year and rip up a road you just put in. Second point is this. That road, and people who have lived in Kenosha their whole lives know that was a dump site. And that road was never properly bedded to begin with. I mean, you've got to put together, a foundation to place the road on. It's not just it's not just re-asphalting, because it's never going to last anyways.
All right, let's hear his response. Go ahead.
Well, the project is just re-asphalting. That's all it's going to be doing. It's going to grind it down and put another layer of asphalt on there.
Okay.
I have those concerns. The two master plan proposals that came before us in 2014 were started before the last election. I came in the parks for the last third of it, and that's when we had the big, there's a large contentious meeting and such, and we tabled it. The two proposals, one replaced Kennedy Park Drive entirely with a promenade, a walking and bicycling promenade, and the second proposal basically it went halfway and then cut west to connect up to Washington Road. So, and no one liked that. Both the people that didn't want the road and people that wanted the road hated that middle road compromise. So really the one option we had was the no road option, and a lot of people objected to it, so we tabled it, which was going to ensure the road stays there, but it would, it wouldn't be repaired either. Now, I have those concerns too. I wish we had gone through the regular master planning system, and then if had we, then we would have, I think, had those questions answered. So
it just doesn't seem like the Parks Commission or the city is following the process that they should at this point. And I've always supported a lot of you good guys down there. You know that, but there's a process put in place. Adopt a master plan and then move forward with it. It seems like you're handling it backwards.
I wish we'd gone through the master planning process, and myself, then I think we wouldn't have had these questions. There's no doubt there's a lot of people that would like to see that road remain, but it costs money to tear up the road. It costs money to repave the road. That's why I was content to go the third route, which is to leave it as is and patch it up as best we can with our year-to-year funds. But my concerns are that without the road bed, it's not going to last 10 years. It might last less, and that becomes
that's a concern, right?
The cost of a road is more than what it costs to put in. The cost of any project is more than the cost it takes to do it. It also is the lifetime of the project. So, but that's what I think we'll get some answers from the $5,000 and. For the $5,000 study, you get the. And one thing I would like to say is the portion that is covering the Simmons Island Road, which is also in bad shape. I mean, there is a road bed, and that money is that's a pretty safe investment to resurface that. But once again, it could have. And that is, at least on them, there is a master plan for Simmons Island, so that's on the master plan.
Okay.
But I personally, I represent District 8, and District 8 is nowhere near Kennedy Park Drive. And I've had a couple people that weighed in during the big meeting, but ever since we tabled it, I've never had a single complaint about Kennedy Park Drive.
All right, Kurt, I got to cut you off.
We'd like to see roads in the neighborhoods repaired too. So that's my position.
I got to run.
Anyway,
thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
All right. He brings up a good question. Yes, aldermen are elected to represent their district first, but now they're also on the city council and they're also on these various committees.
Well, that's always been a balancing act. I mean, you've got to represent your neighborhood, but you've also got to make decisions that affect all neighborhoods. You always keep your eye on the ball, and the eye on the ball is what's best for your neighborhood. But you also have to, take into consideration other districts as well. I mean, I'll give a good example of this, Scott. Not to go in the direction of snow removal. We're talking about this snow removal thing going from 4 inches to 2 inches. One of the biggest concerns in the older neighborhoods, and I speak because I've lived in a neighborhood my entire life, are the snow removal in alleys. Alleys that are still open, who have garage access onto the alleys, whether they're paved alleys, cemented alleys, or graveled alleys. People need to get out of their garages into the alleys. But the alleys in the older neighborhoods are the very last things to be snowplowed. So if you're going to make an adjustment to a snowplow plan, and this is what I believe Alderman Wicklund has been working on as well, because he represents a neighborhood with a lot of different alleys. If you're going to make an adjustment to how we remove snow, then make the alleys a priority too. We pay the same amount of taxes in older neighborhoods than other neighborhoods without alleys. Why are our alleys a lesser priority than your streets?
The only thing I question is the $5,000, and if that's all they're doing, that could have been done by our own engineering department for $5,000. Now, if you're going to do an engineering study, then it's probably going to cost $100, which you're going to have to go down, as our caller eloquently stated last week before we had to hit the blip button. You got to go down a
stir
whole
up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you got to stir up a lot of stuff to get down.
This was
to put in
the other thing I question if they were going to do this right, which if I would ever support it, it would be to put the road bed in and do it right. The problem is now you're talking about an environmental issue.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're digging down into a 50, 60-year-old garbage dump, and who knows what was dumped in there.
Well, and the other thing is this: let's talk about the master plan. We've got an election coming up in April, and the way that government is designed in Kenosha is the faces of the committee could change every 2 years. You put this road bed in this year, they adopt a master plan with an entire new Parks Commission in a year or two, and they say, you know what, we don't want the road. Let's rip the road out. But once a master plan's been adopted, you can look at it and say, we're going to handle it this way because this is what the master plan says. It's a planning document is what it is. Not that it can't be changed. Just seems to me that this has become a political issue when it shouldn't be a political issue.
And to go one step further, they had a Lakota plan that was going to extend the trolley, right?
Well,
So the trolley, they couldn't do it, so they take it out of the master plan.
I think they made, and I personally think they made a mistake with that as well. Nothing seems to be set in stone because if you have a planning document, and nothing seems to be worth the paper that it's written on because everything can be changed.
Let me take a call, Pete.
Okay.
Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. How you doing? This is Bob in Kenosha.
Okay, Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling in to throw in my 2 cents on Kennedy Drive.
Sure, go ahead.
And I'm not in favor of the promenade and the boulevard and the master plan as it was presented. Okay. But I would like to see that road continued.
Okay.
And my thoughts on that are, I understand that it's soft ground, it's built on a dump. Pleasant Prairie has all sorts of roads that go through Carroll Beach and Shiwaukee Prairie there. And that's all marshland and swampland through there. And some of them are paved, and some of them are just kind of asphalt and gravel. And I'm wondering why we can't, I know it's sacrilege to suggest it, but talk to Pleasant Prairie and see if they have any ideas of how to build this on top of the dump.
Well, but with all due respect, I know those roads in Carroll Beach, and those are much less traveled roads than Kennedy Drive is. So maybe that's a factor as well. And I don't know whether it is or not, but I would assume it's got something to do with the amount of traffic on it. But you bring up a good point.
Well, the road's coming, so apparently it's going to be done by the end of the summer, whether we like it or not, master plan or not. So
now, do you live in Carroll Beach down in the Pleasant Prairie area?
No, I don't, but I've driven through there over the years.
Well, and Kenosha County has got more lake access than any other community on the Great Lakes, and I think we need to preserve that. But we need to do that in a way that's going to be beneficial to everybody.
And I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Well,
what I hear is take out the road and put in a promenade, and that's what I'm hearing.
No, they're putting in a new road.
No, they have chosen to put in a new road, but they haven't adopted a master plan for that park
yet. Are there gutters and curbs on that road?
No. It's just going to be repaving, and it's going to last as long as it's going to last, probably less than 10 years.
Okay, and the rest of the plan, to my understanding, has been tabled.
Right.
That's correct.
So, and the rest of the plan includes reducing the parking, because now there's parking along both sides of that road.
That's one of them. I guess there was 3 master plan proposals. Yeah. So that happens to be one of them, I guess.
I think on all 3 of them the parking's reduced.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and it includes putting in, what, promenades you want to call them?
Well, I guess so.
Something to walk across. Which brings up another point, because people are arguing that the storms throw rocks over the side and they break up the road. Well, what's going to happen to these promenades?
That's a good point, yeah.
Well, we got an election coming up, and some of these topics and issues will weigh in on the voters. There's going to be some primaries in some districts, and we get to April. We'll see what happens. Bob, I got to run. Thank you very much for your call and comments.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that this, I don't want to say goes away, but becomes less of an issue after the election?
Depends on who gets elected.
Everything becomes less of an issue after the election.
Yeah,
don't kid yourself.
Because the way I envision is you're going to have a freshly paved Kennedy Drive and you're going to plow it after 2 inches of snow. This is apparently
we're going to read a sponsor, but I'd like to talk
a
little bit about that snow removal.
Welcome to Sunnyside.
Yeah. Landing lights on a toilet seat
called wide and to the left.
I think you get little green men to do the signals.
It could be the what's the kicker's name in Minnesota? Walsh. What's his first name?
Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh. It could be the Blair Walsh toilet seat.
Laces out.
Wide and to the left.
Out.
Wide and to the left. If your laces are facing the toilet, you're facing the wrong way.
Now, where does the holder come into play in this thing?
Well,
he gives you the TV.
Yet to be determined.
He brings you the toilet paper.
I think that's funny. I just made that up. The Blair Walsh toilet seat, wide and to the left.
Well, see, everybody remembers wide and to the left because they're visualizing.
I love it.
But nobody knows who Blair Walsh is. I mean,
he's coming in for landing. You're clear for landing. You're wide and to the left. Abort.
Aren't you just a little embarrassed with that?
No, hell no. Embarrassed. Playoffs. Me?
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hey, this is Wes from Trevor. I grew up in Kenosha. You guys are talking about the Kennedy Drive Park.
Sure, go ahead.
And Over the years, it's always been a hassle. But how about breaking the paradigm and put that drive up on the west side instead of the east side, and just make that green area?
Now that I believe that's one of the plans that they had casually spoke about. That's a good point.
Well, there's a road right there. You just mean incorporating it in with that? I think that's Fifth Avenue.
Oh, well, that'd be excellent. Then you'd resolve that whole issue.
I like that idea. You should move back to Kenosha, run for alderman.
I just think the only thing I'm talking about.
I don't think so.
I think we need thinking like this.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of ideas like that, but I like my area out here now.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
All
right. Bye.
The other thing is I don't know about maybe the alderman, but I know traditionally that residents of the 1st District don't want Kennedy Drive kept open. And it seems like in a lot of cases we defer to what the local residents want, constituents want, except for this. Then we can overrule what they want. The
people in the 2nd District didn't want the trolley extended either, and they were going to jam that through or down our throats.
Well, that didn't, though. That didn't go through.
Only because not because of the people in the district didn't want it.
Because there was another election coming up.
Well, 5 million had to do with it.
The bottom line is with both of these situations, master plans and what we say we're going to do in the city mean nothing.
That's true.
Because once political pressure becomes an issue, everybody caves and you change your mind anyways.
I concur.
So a plan means nothing. So whatever. It's a plan means nothing.
Well, that's part of it is people got to pay attention when the master plans are being developed.
Well, that's always been my issue.
Everybody gets a wake-up call.
The time to have stopped the trolley was 4 years ago when they adopted it as part of the master plan and the Lakota plan. The time to have stopped Kennedy Drive or to put in Kennedy Drive is once they adopt a master plan. Look at all the different things that they've changed. It cost us $4.5 million because the geniuses down at City Hall decided not to let Steve Mills put his subsidized housing over there on the Brass site.
Yeah.
So we said we're going to do one thing. Now we're going to change our mind. Come on, be a little consistent for heaven's sakes.
And then
I almost said something else. See,
and then
now I'm getting all pumped up again.
Now with that issue, then it became convenient. Oh, the people in the neighborhood don't want it, so we're going to renege on what we said.
And
that's when it
cost
became
us?
convenient.
It cost us $4.5 million because the geniuses down at City Hall didn't do what they say they were going to do.
You know how many Kennedy Drive studies we could have had for that? My goodness.
Well, you know how many potholes we could have filled?
But that's another that $4 million you're talking about came from a lawsuit. He had a contract. Forget a master plan. He actually had a contract.
Well, a contract is no different than a master plan or what we say we're going to do. When you adopt a master plan, there are developers out there that say, look, the city council has just approved this type of development in the downtown area. Let's buy the surrounding property on speculation and future and develop it in the future. People look at the master plan and they take...
Stevie, you are a true American.
Get away from me! My home, sweet home.
Was I getting a little too serious for you?
Well, the vein was popping, and so we're trying to bring you down.
My blood pressure.
When
I start talking about this stuff and the sheer nonsense that goes on down there sometimes at City Hall, I get a little riled up.
That building that Mills built downtown. I think that's on Fifth Avenue, and where the
on the site of the old Wells.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous building, and then the new addition. But what he has to do with the city of Kenosha, word reached me, and I don't know if this is true, and I can't confirm or deny. He said, "Forget you guys. I'm going out to Summers, where they're welcome." And he's putting another building out there, the same thing as these lofts. So God love him. He's a businessman, make money. So we're gonna take a break here, Pete.
Yeah, we got.
I gotta relax a little bit. I'm gonna go outside, get some fresh air.
Gotta cool you off.
Quick, Ron, lock the door before he gets back in.
You know what? If you go outside, you cool off. You'll be okay. I understand.
Well, Scotty Barter, and welcome to the January 16th edition of the Kenosha State Weekly Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your radio dial.
Those nutty bars are good.
Being brought to you by our major sponsor, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. Taking serious journalism to an all-time high, reporting on local stories.
We are serious journalists.
State stories and spanning the globe, little Stevie. Basically keeping it real and generally making stuff up as we go along. The big dog, little Stevie Casey's
It's as real
here.
as we can keep it.
Little Stevie's all lathered up and jacked up since Bob Lee Jr. named his new toilet seat promotion from wide and to the left.
The Blair special.
No, the Blair Walsh toilet seat. I think that's hysterical. Wide into the left.
And now that you're going to be the keynote speaker at this summer's fly-in, pants on the ground, potty flying.
Pants on the ground, looking like a fool.
I'll
with your
pay for that.
pants on the
Steve.
ground.
I'll get his front row seats.
Oh, goody.
I think that's very funny. Don't you think that's funny? The Blair Walsh toilet seat.
And sticking with us through thick and thick, the always lovable Trooper Captain Ron. Engineering the Kenosha train wreck this morning, hoping to survive all this nonsense. Pistol Pete enlightens us.
Now, I do have to correct you on something you said before the news, before you get into your top 10.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the Phase 2 actually was, Phase 2 with the Mills development downtown, actually was approved. It came before City Plan.
All right.
So it's not as if he's abandoning Kenosha and doing something in summer.
I guess I misspoke when I said...
Yes, you did misspoke.
Well, okay,
you did misspoke.
I did. Fine. I concur. I used the word abandon. He goes to Summers to continue. All right. Is he got another plan coming in the city of Kenosha?
Well, I'm sure that the project down on Fifth Avenue is not going to be the last project that the Mills
Does
family
he have
does.
one right now?
I'm not sure. I'm not.
There's nothing that he's got
know.
going in the city right now. So if I use the word abandon, I misspoke. I concur. You want to...
Well, you're getting a little pumped up.
Well, I'm concurring.
What the hell?
I misspoke. I'm just saying
for heaven's
he's
sakes.
got nothing going on in the city of Kenosha right now. No?
I don't think that's an accurate statement, but
He's got nothing going on in the city of Kenosha. He's in Summers.
Well, he's doing a project in Summers, but he's still in the middle of doing his project down
Okay,
at Fifth
after
Avenue.
that, what's his next project?
I don't know. I'm not part of the Mills
Well, then,
Corporation.
shut up.
Well, I think it's important to
Talk
hold...
about getting real, man.
I think it's important to hold
Ron.
people to accurate statements.
Ron,
I am
feel
making
like...
an accurate statement. I corrected
Did you
myself.
ever have that feeling as a kid when your parents are arguing and you want to stay in a corner?
Yeah.
It's kind of the feeling.
Not
right now.
tonight, Stevie. I got a headache. You know how that goes, right?
Well, here you jagged up a couple of aldermen. You jagged up a developer in town here.
Why
Is
didn't
there
you
no
just-
end to people who are going to get mad at?
Well, let's see. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today. Good morning.
Hi, is this Charles' house?
Child not here.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Maybe I should have taken a message.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Anyway, boy, was it cold in Kenosha.
That's kind of scary. That make you want to stay in your house and lock your doors.
It was really cold this week.
Don't go near City Hall anytime this week. It's going to be a little chilly down there for you, too.
Single digits. I know we had a little thaw, but this week coming,
You
Pete,
get you get single digits, all
you're-
right. Is that your IQ?
No,
Single
0.08,
digits?
0.08 is what the temperature is going to be. Anyway,
Oh,
this
boy.
was written on in our home
Let's
office.
see how many more people we can get upset
On
at
the
us,
deck
Scott.
at the Boathouse Pub and Inn, this morning's top 10 thought-provoking category. The top 10 signs it's really cold here in Kenosha. Number 10, dramatic increase in rubbing noses after drinking Long Island iced teas. Number 9, the grow light in Shirley's garage fueled by an Eskimo from a Sturtevant cartel. Number 8, instead of giving the snowplower the finger, everyone giving him the mitten. Number 7, flashes on 6th Avenue exposing themselves for only 10 seconds at a time. Number 6, most of the people wearing ski masks are on the school board. Number 5, Uncle Scotty's Boathouse bar tab frozen at 6 figures. I gotta wait for a while to thaw that sucker out. Number 4, the Heritage House gets a new $500,000 air conditioning unit. Number 3, to keep warm, city aldermen putting their hands in each other's pockets. Number 2, emergency rooms packed with guys looking for a free peanut butter sandwich. And the number 1 sign that it's really cold here in Kenosha, community watchdogs working like hell to move their bathrooms indoors. No, I admit it when I used the word abandon. And, okay, so it wasn't the right word.
All right, let's talk. I thought we wanted to talk about some snow removal issues.
Well, let's
talk
see what
about
this
that a
person.
little more.
No, we don't want to talk with that person. We do have this. When these people call in, we can't recognize a number.
Yeah, we would ask that you not do call or block ID because we're not going to answer phone calls, which are restricted numbers or with private, unavailable things
We are
like that.
smarter than that. We are high school graduates. Okay, what is
Snow removal plan?
Yeah, okay.
All right, now we've got a proposal on the table sponsored by a number of aldermen taking the mandatory full snowplow run down from 4 inches to 2 inches. And that's being proposed by Alderman Bogdala. I'm not sure whether he's got other supporters or not.
Yeah, there's 5 others onto that.
Okay. The question I would ask is this.
What?
Really?
What? What'd you say?
A full plow run at 2 inches? You people live in Wisconsin, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, aren't you used to a little bit of snow on the streets? 2 inches, and we got to send a $1 million plow run out to remove 2 inches? The people that I used to represent in the Lincoln Park neighborhood, they're tough as nails. 2-inch snowfall means nothing. Half of them don't even alter their lifestyle at 2 inches of snow. For heaven's sake, some don't even shovel their sidewalk at 2 inches.
Some people even slow down for 2 inches of snow.
Well, for heaven's sakes, I mean, this whole proposal, taking it from, you live in Wisconsin, you ought to have snow on the streets and be used to it. I'm going to tell you this. I pulled up some information about different snow manuals in different parts of the country. There are communities in Colorado, including Denver, Colorado, that does not send a plow or a salter out into the community unless there's 6 inches of snow.
They got that from the city of Orlando. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Yeah, this is Dale from Kenosha.
Dale.
Hey, Dale.
Remember, it's kindness week, too, by the way.
You grew up in Kenosha. You remember 10, 11 inches of snow at a time?
All right, let Dale talk. Go ahead.
There's nothing.
2 inches of snow is nothing.
I think they ought to have an ordinance. If somebody mentions the word snow, the plow should be ready. I mean, come on.
2 inches of snowfall, for heaven's sake. My mother has not. My mother is a born and bred Catholic her whole life. She hasn't missed a Sunday mass due to any snowfall ever. If I don't get to shoveling her driveway, she says, "Don't worry, it's just a little snow. I'll get to church." You know, she's almost 80 years old, for heaven's sakes. I mean, if you
wait a minute,
I mean, come on, Dale.
That's 5 for heaven's sakes in the last 3 minutes.
2 inches of snow? How many times? You're a truck driver, for heaven's sakes. When was the last time you didn't go to work because of a 2-inch snowfall?
Okay, let him talk now. Go ahead.
I can't remember. I don't recall ever staying home. The only time we didn't work was when we had that 30-some inches a few years back.
Yeah, 24 inches in 24 hours. That's right.
Yeah, I mean that.
Now, if you got to do Dale, if you got to do a plow run out on the 17th, you're going to be minus some water because Pete had to rally the troops, and he met at the Bronze Stop, and he had to take it out to Flint, Michigan. So he couldn't wait for you, so he had to leave. But we're doing our part to help the people in Flint, Michigan, so we're going to have to do it without water.
Well, and you remember, Dale, that this whole snow removal bit came from the comment that the alderman of the 17th district made when he said that because we had 1.7 inches of snow, the streets in the Whitecaps were impassable. Okay. Well, where are you from, Florida? You know, you live in the Midwest. You're going to have a little snow on the streets. I'm all pumped up. I'm all jagged up now.
Now, it's kindness week, Dale, and please help me convince little Stevie here that he should find it in his heart to dispense of all the satire, dopey, shameful comments about snow plowing out in the 17th district.
Kumbaya,
Time's up.
My lord.
Time's up.
Kumbaya.
All right.
There we go.
We pretty much beat the snow plowing in the 17th. You know, we got to move on and be bigger people and think of something else.
That's all nothing but politics.
Well, like I say, I mean, you just mentioned that word today, and people are getting a panic. You know, it's ridiculous.
So you think the city should, for $100,000, maybe hire a psychic? So if anybody and so many people in a certain district are thinking of snow, out the plows go.
Sure.
Well, listen. I went by your house yesterday, Dale, and I saw you doing preventive snow removal.
Oh yeah,
you were in your driveway. I was the one that beeped.
Everything as clean as I can.
I was the one that beeped at you, by the way.
Oh, okay.
You didn't have to flip them off like that.
Yeah, he takes it back now. He takes the salute back.
Yeah. There's a one-finger salute. I like that.
All right.
Well, listen, you are on standby. You're one of our chief volunteers that helps with snow removal in the 17th, and I'm going to be making a run over to Flint, Michigan, with some bottled water, courtesy of Ed St. Peter. So you're gonna help me out with that as well, right?
That's the good news. The bad news
as we speak, I'm going to start sharpening the snow shovels right now.
That's the good news is he's going out to Flint. The bad news is he's coming back. So we got to take the good with the bad. All right, Dale.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Right. Anyway, this is kindness week. What's the matter with you?
Well, everybody talks about snow removal and this and that. How are you going to pay for things like this?
But out of the kindness of your heart. What's the matter? It's kindness week. Aren't you taking part? in Kindness Week at all?
Don't you feel the love, Stevie?
Do I got to separate you two again?
Scott,
Oh my God,
Scott,
Steve.
have you lost weight? Pete, you must be wearing your hair differently today.
I am. Well, thank you for
It looks
noticing.
very nice.
This is extra bed head today. So
Captain Ron.
Yes.
See,
Thank you for noticing.
Now, if you,
How about that for
if
Kindness
you-
Week?
Here's what I think: to express your sincere offer of kindness, I think you should offer a helping hand to those less fortunate and who might be a little mentally challenged in obtaining a building permit. Let's say that somebody wants to move a bathroom inside.
Let's say somebody wants to build a bathroom in their house.
Home remodeling.
Home remodeling.
Out of the-
Let's say we have somebody, say a community watchdog.
And out of the kindness of your heart, you'll help
Kindness
them
out
get
of
a
my
permit.
heart, I would help them apply for a proper permit because there are people out there who do remodeling in their home without proper permits.
Yeah,
Makes no difference.
We're not mentioning names.
Not mentioning
'Cause
any
this
names.
is Kindness Week.
This is Kindness Week. Kevin?
Pete?
I'm just sticking by the.
I think
the caller ID and the dump button at the moment. Don't mind me.
Peter, I think you should show some kindness and tell all get warm and fuzzy and tell these people that have these people call in and tell them that people on an AM radio talk show, they don't suck all that much.
Oh, well,
no, that's kindness.
I don't want to lie.
think
That's
you can
not
say that on the radio. Can you say that on the radio?
I think he just did.
That were the bad? I'm not saying nothing bad. Oh, I used the word random and I got, taken to task.
No, abandon.
Abandon. What did I say? Random?
Random.
That's up by,
You know,
Rippon.
I got to tell you,
That's up by
for a
Rippon.
guy who talks on a radio, you don't have much of a command of the English language.
No, we don't have a call because we're not taking that business.
Danger will.
Yeah.
You need a permit to use the private call line.
geez.
Sorry.
I got to get to a sponsor here, Stevie. Always goes to church.
No, I don't think she's ever missed a Sunday mass because of snow.
So why don't you take her?
Because I'm busy. I'm busy shoveling her driveway out, for heaven's
You're
sake.
shoveling it, all right.
Casey worships at home on those snowy mornings.
My only point is, and I'm not trying to make light of this, what people don't understand is the city still has full discretion. And the example I talked about at the news break, Pete, is exactly true. Let's say there's going to be a 2-inch snowfall, which is nothing, or a 1.5-inch snowfall, but it's going to be wet and it's going to be heavy. And then they look at the weather and they say in the next 36 hours the temperature is going to drop and it's going to go below zero. And we don't want all that slush and that 1.5 inch of snowy, slushy stuff to freeze. So they can order a full plow run anytime they want. It's not as if they wouldn't do it at 2 inches. I just don't think that ought to be the mandate.
So let me make sure we clarify this because I don't think people understand what the 4-inch rule. It's not an ordinance or a rule. It's a guideline.
Well,
Yeah,
I believe it's a policy. Anytime there's
Okay.
4 inches or snow or more, they order a full plow run. Everybody goes out.
But there is discretion if they need to do so.
There's absolute
because
discretion.
The other day, when it was maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches, the plow actually did come by and
from my house,
and
too.
remove
But
the
this
snow.
is what
I was
happened.
parked in the street.
Yeah.
It didn't quite plow me
But
in.
this is what happened. At 11 o'clock at night, they determined it was going to be about a 2-inch snowfall.
How many times are we
so
gonna
they
do this?
Yeah, but so they sent everybody home.
Council's going to vote on this coming up.
Yeah,
So.
but they're going to vote
Yeah,
on
but
it.
we've already beat the hell out of this, don't you think?
Oh, he said hell.
Oh,
Can you say that on
As
the
soon
radio?
as they drop
well,
it, we'll
how
stop
many times
talking
are we
about
going to
it.
do this?
Okay, well, the bottom line is it's Wisconsin. Get used to a little snowfall and grow up, for heaven's sakes.
I've got to do a drinking game for heaven's sakes.
That's got to be, you're setting the all-time record for heaven's sakes quotes
I'm a
today.
little jagged up today.
Yeah, well.
You got me, my blood pressure's a little high. I got to take next Saturday off.
I think you need
Widen to the left.
I think you need some relaxing music.
It's
Mellow
just
you
that I
out.
get so...
Well, you keep this going, Pete.
I'm calm. Let's everybody breathe.
By the way, this music reminds me of Ron in his fine suit from yesterday.
Oh, yes, you didn't see that.
No.
Bjorn's, I got it while he's doing that. Kenosha Rotary's having a community blood drive sponsored by the Rotary Club of Kenosha West and the Kenosha Rotary Club. It's today from 10 a.m. to 3, and it is at the Blood Center of Wisconsin. To donate blood, little Stevie, you must be, one, in good health, weigh at least 110 pounds, have a photo ID with your birth date, be at least 17 years old, and no upper age limit. So, and all donors should feel good health on the day of the donation. You can only, there's a limit here, according to this, you can only have 3 peanut butter bars and a couple rolls before donating blood. And discuss your medical history.
Bars.
Well,
Nutty bars.
Nutty bars.
Whatever.
Little
Oh,
Debbie
calling me
nutty
to task
bars.
again because I made another error.
How random.
Random.
You know where they make those nutty bars? They make those in Ripon.
Things to remember. Now, if you're going to go over there
So
and
what is
donate...
it? What is it, an Afghan? What is that, like a sweater?
Now, when you get over there to donate blood, now I'm talking about serious stuff here, big boys. If you need to come well rested from a good night's sleep. Did you have a good night's sleep last night?
Yeah, very much so.
Eat, have a good dinner. I'm sure you had that.
You know what I had for dinner last night?
Oh, here we go.
When my wife was in Washington, D.C., she went out there she was there for less than 20
let me guess.
hours.
Donut Dave and Diane asked you for dinner.
Oh, they asked me for dinner.
And you went to the Garrards.
No. What she had for lunch out there before she got on the plane, she was out there for less than 20 hours. She had a scallop salad. Salad with scallops with a special type of...
This interests us not...
So she made this wonderful salad last night
And you
with
wonder
scallops.
why I said, you still married? How's that working out for you?
25 years this year.
The year's not over yet either. Now, I'm trying to get to some serious stuff here for those that are going to go over and donate blood here. Okay, you got to have a good night's rest. Got to eat a good dinner. Hydrate. Double your fluid intake in the morning.
Well, that's okay. You can do that. You can do that.
You can do that. Relax. Donating blood is simple. Remember, you are saving a life. See, little Stevie, it's not all about beating up on snow plowing things. We're done with that now.
That was a news story this week. I think the blood bank is actually
good morning.
Good
morning, you're in Kenosha today.
Speaking of the blood bank,
Stevie, this is Steve Schneider. Go ahead.
I'm down at the Kenosha Public Museum with the
museum,
the Rotary blood drive right now, and I'm just talking to Meredith here from the Blood Center of Wisconsin, and she says that we're at a critical point due to donations being very low over the holidays, and maybe if you'd like to talk to her, she can give you more detail on that.
Does she know that I'm thinking of maybe donating my blood?
So you're what?
I might be thinking of donating.
That'd be very good. We could use you down here. I'm going to do it too.
Okay, well, let me talk to Meredith before we get not serious.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to have you talk to Meredith. Okay. She can give you more details.
Right.
Okay, here you go.
Hi, Meredith. You're on TV. You're on TV.
Can you see us?
Meredith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're live, so go ahead. Enlighten me on what's going on.
Oh, we have a blood drive going on right now down at the Kenosha Public Museum. We're here until 3 o'clock.
Okay. And I was reading some of the qualifications. You have to have come well rested, in a good night's sleep, eat a good dinner, double your fluid intake in the morning for your donation, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And the other key thing is to drink a lot of fluids, too, because we're basically taking a pint of fluid from you, so the more hydrated you are, the better you're going to feel.
Well, Meredith, that shouldn't be a problem. There's a Packer game on tonight.
Exactly, right?
Well,
I do have my Packer shirt on, I'll have you know.
Now, did I hear an advertisement this week from the blood bank that you are at a critical level, that donations are down and you're in need of, what did I hear, O negative is the most in-demand blood at this point?
It is. We are at a critical level. Yesterday we were at about a half-day supply. The recent cold spell last week and then the anticipated weather early next week is decreasing donations. So we really want to encourage people to come out, if at all possible, to help us boost that blood supply so that we do have it when patients need it.
Well, that's a good thing. You're probably talking to the right guys because we bleed slowly here every Saturday morning. In fact, a lot of times we're looking to just stop the bleeding.
Okay, we'll everybody get down there. You got till 3 o'clock, and keep an eye on Mr. Schneider. We don't know exactly
what's he up
to. All right, Meredith.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Always a good cause. So many good causes in Kenosha to be able to. Yeah, that's a good cause. Absolutely.
So, we had a call. We lost him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about Kindness Day. If anybody has a 262-694-1050, an example of how to extend kindness.
How about a random act of kindness?
Yes, give us a random act of kindness. We're talking about these master plans, and this we never did get to this, what to do with the engine plan. So we spent $150,000 for this Urban Land Institute, and they sketched, I don't remember them talking to anybody down here, but quite frankly, they did, I guess. And so, what are we going to put in the Chrysler site? And who keeps calling?
For heaven's sake!
Heaven's sakes! Can't you turn that thing off? You're not that important. At any rate, what to do with the Chrysler plant? Well, since they're going to adopt this plan, what happens to Scotty's Country Club in Spa? We were going to put a 9-hole golf course in there, right, Ron?
Yep.
I'm going to have the city spend...
And
a clubhouse. We're going to
Well, it doesn't make any difference what plan they adopted anyways. They can all change.
Well, that's right. Here's what I want. I want the city to spend $28 million for this, for my country club, 9 holes, and it'd be just like they spent 28 for the marina, and then I'm going to buy it back for 1.6 and put my golf course in there. Makes perfect sense to me. Has precedent's been set. What do you think of that, there, little Stevie?
I think we need a referendum.
You're probably right, Scott. We probably should have never built that marina. You're probably right.
How does that marina affect me? I'm not serious now. We spent $28 million.
You're absolutely right.
How does that affect me?
I think an abandoned engine plant on the lakefront would be better for Kenosha than what they've done down at Harbor Park.
I'm not talking about Harbor Park. I'm talking about the marina where the boats are. Yes, it affects you because you have a boat. How does that affect me or Pete or Ron?
Are you trying to tell me you've never been affected by the development down on the lakefront?
That's
never
about,
benefited
Steve,
you.
I'm not talking about that. I'm specifically talking about the marina. How does the golf course affect you?
Well, how does the golf course affect me? Golf course doesn't affect me at all.
Well, the marina where the boats are doesn't affect me either.
It's a quality of life issue. And first of all,
so is my golf course.
There's 700 and something boats down. Okay, but you probably can't say this.
Ron, you want to go play board games in the basement while Daddy and Daddy yell at each other? Monopoly should be long enough, right?
There's 575 slips. Or
hungry hippos.
75% of them are owned by Illinois people. How does that affect me? My quality of life.
Well, the recent estimates when I was on the city council, back in about 2005,
easy.
Back in about 2005, the estimates were for every boat that's in the marina, they bring in disposable income into the community of about $10,000.
Stevie, you know
Can
as
you
well
say
as I
the
do.
same about every golfer that golfs at Petrifying
Stevie,
Springs?
you know as well as I do that when those people come to their boats, they're staying on that boat.
You're absolutely wrong.
Hey, look, there's soccer on, Ron.
You're absolutely wrong.
Well,
to say that the improvement down in the lakefront, that with the promenade and with Harbor Park and everything,
I'm not talking about
and the marina being a component of that. That's a component.
Well, I'm talking about
to say
that
that has not benefited Kenosha, and to say that we should undo that or not have done it to begin with is just pure ignorance.
Well, I'm ignorant because it doesn't affect me. That marina does not. The Harbor Park and everything affects me, yes, not the marina. And if you call that ignorant, then I'm ignorant. But that doesn't affect me.
Well, then the libraries don't affect you anyways, because that's probably the last time you were in a library.
That's not what we're talking about, Stevie.
How do the libraries affect you? How do schools affect you?
I don't
How
go
do
to
the
that.
museums affect you?
I'm talking about one issue, one part.
But you can say that about any issue, Scott.
Okay.
You've got blinders on.
Fine,
You've got blinders on.
I'm just saying I'm a 66-year-old ignorant person that has no effect on me at all. Now, the rest of the stuff does.
I like walking down there, though. That's nice.
Yeah, I do. I like it.
Get the old man walk going. Get the fresh
You're probably
lake
right.
air.
You're probably right. We probably shouldn't have built that marina.
I'm not saying
You're
that.
probably right. Well, yeah, that's what you said.
I'm saying it does not affect me.
Okay, so what? So
we're going to take a minute break. Go ahead. 16th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report and Grind. Coming to you live from Studio A here and streaming worldwide here at WLAP AM 1050. Being brought to you by our major sponsor, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. I am Uncle Scotty Barter, along with the big dog, little Stevie Casey. Also, our video coordinator, Captain Ron, and Steve Harvey's go-to guy, our engineer, Pistol Pete. Our goal this year is to offer our listeners some hope, prayer, and with a 45-day deferral, divine intervention. We are here each and every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to noon. If you happen to miss our Saturday shows, you can tune in WIP tomorrow, Sunday at noon, and listen to the replay of this morning's broadcast. Whew, back-to-back days. Why in the world would anybody want to miss this show?
Today is the day to go see the video, too, because you guys were getting red in the face and spittle going everywhere.
694. Hey, he has this thing on Monday, one man's opinion. I had my opinion. It's opinion. It's my view. I don't argue with you. I don't call you ignorant. I may call you a little on the hefty side, but that's one man's opinion.
You're right. You've never insulted me. That's right.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, man. Wow, this is quite interesting. It's turned into an argument between the rich and the famous. And I'm on the famous side with you, Scott. I can afford $20 for a round of golf. I can't afford $40,000 for a yacht like Dr. Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whoa.
All right.
I think we should put a golf course at the Chrysler site.
Ronnie. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no wonder I drank 10 Long Islands a day. It was a suggestion. I was trying to make a comparison here. 262-694.
Well, it's just a plan. I don't mean anything really.
Well, yeah, we find that out. If you have an idea, you want to talk?
See what happens when they're together 2 weeks in a row. All this contention.
I thought we were going to talk about the Packer game tonight too.
We want to talk about
what
that.
What do you think? How do you think it's going to turn out?
Well, if they play.
I'm sorry, it's just some Packers music in the background.
Oh, is this to get mood? Is this mood music? Oh, I think if they play like they have. This is so bad when we got to resort to this.
There we go. There we go.
Okay. If they play like they have, I kill a band, will you? No. If
what's the line in the game today?
Well, I think the.
I don't know.
Cardinals
I think it's 7, isn't it?
Yeah, I got.
I can look it up. Yeah.
I got to think it's at least 7.
I think if they let Rodgers do his no huddle offense and get that dope McCarthy out from calling plays, I think they got a chance. Let Rodgers call his own plays and let him get in there. And
well, they always seem to do better with the hurry-up offense. There's no question about that.
And you got McCarthy sitting there looking like he's on a deer stand. Doesn't even know where he's at. Who's that? Rodgers calling me? Good morning on Kenosha today.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yeah, George.
I got some bad news for you.
Uh-oh. Again? What's the...
Packers going to get their butts kicked tonight.
Oh, you think so?
I know so.
Well, how do you know? Have you been in the locker room?
Just look at that game they had to play against the Cardinals 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Hey, the last I understand, George, now correct me if I'm wrong, they're starting this game from 0, correct? They don't continue the last game 3 weeks ago. They start this game, both teams start from 0. It's a new game, right?
Right.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Same scenario.
All right, I have the.
They have to go to Arizona and play in the desert.
Well, now let me throw this out at you because I have, for entertainment purposes only, I have the line and the point total. Arizona is favored by 7.5.
Okay.
Take the over or the under on that, on the
7.5 only.
The point spread.
Okay.
Or the line, I should say.
But I'd
have to go 7.5 over.
So you take an
over.
Send
us $100 and we'll invest.
Well, they're actually saying there's going to be an extraordinary amount of Packer fans down there because of the snowbirds from Wisconsin. Yeah. So there might be a whole bunch of Packer fans.
Now, how about this for the point total? 49.5. You take the over, the under on the point total. For both teams.
49. No, I'll take the under.
Well, I think it's.
I don't know.
I might take the over, for entertainment purposes only, of course.
The longer the Packers can stay in the game, I think you'll see the momentum shift to Green Bay's side. Arizona's got to win this game. Whereas Green Bay, okay, well, we'd like to win it. And usually sports teams play a little freer when they don't have to win the game.
Well, that's a good point. The other good point is if we beat Arizona and Seattle beats Carolina, the championship game is in Green Bay, but the home field advantage really means nothing anymore.
No. And you know what? You think of it this. If they were playing in Green Bay today, what's the temperature? Probably 0. So, to lend the Packers offense, I think they're better off playing in a warmer climate.
I don't know that the Aaron Rodgers Packers play better in the cold weather. They've traditionally played better in the controlled setting in a dome or in a warm weather facility. So
I think they may surprise you tonight, George.
Yeah. But you watch, if they can stay close by halftime, and especially the first, I'll say, 5 minutes after the half, you'll see the momentum shift, and I think you'll see, if they can stay close, I mean, within a touchdown or even with 10 points, if it's a blowout like it was by 24 points the first time at halftime, the Packers, I don't think,
What'd you
could
say,
come
Pete?
back.
Third quarter, 99?
The Packers ain't going anywhere.
I said I would go to bed in the third quarter.
All right, George, well, we'll see how well you did next week.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Hey, you were just mentioning something when I was talking about this momentum thing. You said, no, correct me, we'll have to play the tape back. You said, I agree with you, you're right. Was I listening to the right guy, Pete, when you said that?
I have no idea. Let's listen to some music so you guys don't fight anymore.
We were having an intelligent discussion until he called me ignorant. That's just
I love my Green Bay Packers. Okay.
Bring back the old days.
Okay.
Engine plants on the lakefront.
Sludge on the 30th Avenue.
Sludge on 30th Avenue.
Well, that was this morning. No, I would love to walk around the industrial wasteland instead of the
Well,
boats.
if we had talked about this, if I have my Scotty's Country Club, there's some special rules when you get along around 60th and 30th Avenue, 60th Street and 30th Avenue. If your ball disappears because of the contamination, you get a free drop, right?
Oh.
You get a free drop.
A free drop.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about golf.
If the ball dissolves,
if the ball disappears, you get you get to put a new ball. And if your partner disappears, you just wipe him off the scorecard.
You know what? I think
it's one less beer to buy.
I think what you and I ought to do is we ought to form a LLC and become a brownfield consultant. You know, and we'll charge $170,000, and we'll turn in a report that says to the city, I think we need a mixed use of residential and light industrial and recreational.
And put the road through, and of course...
and put the road through and make it look nice.
And of course you expand the streetcar, whatever you do.
We can make a boilerplate and just leave the dates off.
When was the last time you saw a Land Institute plan that said something other than, I think we need a mixed use here?
What should we call it?
$170,000.
What should we call our LLC?
Do we cheat him and how?
Do we cheat him and how?
Yeah,
there you go. 262-694.
Because it doesn't make any difference what plan we submitted to them anyways. They could change it at any given time anyways.
But this golf course was kind of unique because Pete and I had dreamed this up, or I did.
Are you going to have a putting green?
No, we're going to figure eight the streetcar in the middle, and Ron's going to have his spa in there. He's going to put a sprinkler with some spotlights on it, and then the best hole is a par 12. You tee off on 60th Street by the tracks there. You got to bank it off the jockey to about 935 yards to the green on 52nd Street. Now, that's a heck of a process. I mean, that's a heck of a...
one of the most hazardous holes in the world, immediately.
Now,
forget that 400-foot drop-off.
Isn't the trolley going to go through the golf course, or no?
Yeah, we're going to figure it.
Could that be a hazard?
No. Well, the trolley?
Yeah.
You got to hit it through the window.
Yeah. And when the gates come down. We're going to figure eight it through so we can eliminate golf carts. So you can get
all kidding aside.
You could get on from one trolley and go from one hole to the next.
Oh,
exactly.
Oh, there you go.
I agree with you, Stevie.
Instead of
there we go.
Carts.
You're not ignorant.
You're just stupid.
Ronnie.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah, let me read these before we finish up.
Because I never make it.
And maybe we could have our own little clubhouse in there.
You never know.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hi. This is Rick.
Yes, Rick.
I want to weigh in. I'm taking a chance on stepping in the quagmire here, but I want to weigh in on that marina because I even hate to say this, but I agree with Scott on this issue. And I don't know how much the specific boat slips, let's just talk about that, just the boat slips part, and if that is considered the entire marina. Are you telling me that was $28 million?
Yes.
Okay, so you have got $28 million.
Right.
And I know what you're saying, Scott, is that, you're not using it, I'm not using it, and, Steve's got a boat, so he pays the fees for the slip, like the people from wherever are coming up here, and they're paying that. So that seems like a lot of money for, it seems like a bad return on investment. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because it's beautiful. I go down there a lot. I don't have a boat, but we walk down there, and I think it's nice, but I don't think they're ever going to recoup any kind of that $28 million if somebody from, let's just say Illinois, they come up here, it's cheaper to put their boat there for the summer. They're going to, and if they go to the surrounding restaurants on a Saturday or Sunday, they're going to, let's just say they spend $100 for their one meal or two meals, $200 times 4. That's $800 for that month times at the most 5 months.
Well, no, what happened is they took the $28 million from tax dollars and then they sold the docks, I guess whatever the other surrounding things on that marina. Just a second, and they sold it to an operator and let him put an 800,000 square foot boat storage building. I'm not disputing the fact that Harbor Park and the picnics and all of that is wonderful, and the promenade. I'm just referring to this one deal.
Well, and in all fairness, Rick and to Scott, these are questions that I can't answer, and I don't think we have the accurate information. But you're absolutely right. Maybe we need to have a guest on here, some Saturday to explain the financial benefit of something like that to the community. I mean, the numbers that you're talking about, Rick, you're right. Probably doesn't balance out. There's no question about that. But also, I mean, you're dealing with, quality of life issues and things that attract people into the community and whatnot. And certainly everybody would agree with, and I think we all agree with this, Rick, is that it was a wonderful development, overall. Now, whether
Yeah.
that component of it or not pays for itself, and that was worth it, that's still debatable. But maybe that's something we need to ask some questions about. All I'm saying is that the lakefront has always been the single biggest resource that Kenosha has had.
Absolutely.
Nobody's
Absolutely.
denying
Nobody's denying it, and we need to find ways to utilize that in whichever way that we can.
Rick, I appreciate you calling and agreeing with me, and I'll send you the check. I'll send you the check next week.
It's not going to be the only time that's ever going to happen.
Wow,
you're doing so well.
I agree with that,
Doing
Rick.
so well.
Thanks.
The other, one more real
Sure,
quick
okay.
thing. And it is a beautiful development, and I am glad they did it. I just see when I walk down there, I just see everybody partying on their boats, which is cool. I think that's the whole thing. But I'm thinking they're bringing stuff up from Illinois or wherever,
Exactly.
and that's what they're using. I wish, and this is the last thing that I'm going to go on the north side. You got Eichelman Park on the that's by the band shell, right? Is that the park, the beach there?
Eichelman, yeah.
Eichelman's to the south.
Okay.
I think.
Eichelman's to the south. You're thinking of what's the one by
Well,
the
you're
band
thinking
shell?
of Penoyer.
Park.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I go to that beach a lot, and it's nice. You go farther north, and they have that undeveloped or that just beach that
Up by Carthage College.
Yes, it just seems like that would be a waste. If we're going to maximize the lakefront, there's a spot that something could happen, whether it's just another beach or just something else.
Rick, I can't agree with you more. I have said all along that everybody talks about the redevelopment of the downtown. And I've kind of changed my opinion on that over the last couple of years, and I agree with you, whereas we should concentrate on developing the lakefront, and
Absolutely.
all of the unused space. Go to North Beach in Racine and see what they've got up there. They actually serve adult beverages. They've got a beer license for a facility down there. They've got a wonderful tot part. They've got all kinds of amenities. And I've always said that. And I wanted to point out one other thing, that one of the reasons that the Kenosha Marina is filled at 100% is because the proximity to the downtown area. If you go to Winthrop Harbor and you have a boat in Winthrop Harbor, you are almost a mile and a quarter off Sheridan Road, and you can't get to any of those businesses. So there's no ancillary benefit to any businesses there.
And that makes it more attractive
Yeah,
for
that's right.
Kenosha Marina.
And likewise, those boaters do walk to restaurants in the downtown area. What the dollar figure is, that'd be a question we'd have to ask our friend at the Tourism Bureau and things like that, some of those estimates.
I don't believe a thing they say.
All right, I'm going to go.
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thanks. He brings up a good point with some of the undeveloped beaches. I've felt that all along.
Well, there is $6 million over the next 5 years put into capital improvement to develop Simmons Island. Now, what they're going to do there, I'm sure one of they put in they dug out half the hill, and I don't know if they're going to put in a band shell or something there. And I think they were going to. They already started a couple years ago with the $400,000 boardwalk, and that was 80% by grant money, and. So they got plans for it. Now, again, we're going to have a Simmons Island master plan, because I don't think there is one, but they put that makes.
I believe there's I believe there is a
okay.
a master
Well, they must
plan
because
for
they put
Simmons
money
Island.
into this. That's going to start. So.
Well, it's a tough nut to crack, because there's a lot of different ways you can go, and there's a lot of different opinions. Absolutely right.
There you go.
There's no question about it.
262-694-1050. We didn't even.
Hey, I was looking at all four playoff games. Total combined points are 40-plus points for each game.
Well, last week in the playoffs, every home team lost.
That's true. The last time, not that it matters anything to do with this playoff run, but when the Packers won the Super Bowl early 2011, it was 3 road games. Yep. Nobody gave them a snowball's chance in Shirley's garage to win, and
that a boy, Pete.
And and they ran the tables and they won it all. So who knows what can happen?
But it's each game is going to be 40-plus
Well, you got.
combined points.
I mean, you got Carolina. Cam Newton's having a great season.
I'd love to see when the year the Packers only lost one game, and New York comes as a wild card and beat them in Green Bay.
Yes.
And New York that year went on and run the table.
I could predict that for Carolina.
Well, and there's a school of thought out there that Carolina's record, they're not as good as their record shows them to be.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Yeah, this is Joe from Kenosha.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
I'm totally disagree with Scott, and I'm in agreement with Steve, because the